What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the new video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about something that quite honestly might be a little bit controversial and might sound a little bit counterintuitive at first, but trust me on this, it's going to make a lot of sense if you stay all the way to the end and watch the end of this video. It's very important that you do that to truly grasp this concept because it is going to change your life. So in today's video, I want to discuss the fact that number one, you need to stop pursuing girls. So what do I mean by that and why am I saying that? So what I mean by stop pursuing girls looks like this. Delete your dating apps. Stop DMing girls on Instagram. Stop liking girls' Instagram pictures. Stop giving girls too much attention in person. Stop doing all of this stuff. And the reason I'm saying this is because right now, if you have to do that to get girls, then you are not in a position in life that you really want to be to attract the right girls into your life. So let me use an example of this. Let me actually use a female example of this. Think of a very, very attractive girl that you know. Does this girl have to have dating apps? No. Does she need to go around and pursue guys? No. Does she need to go around and give guys a lot of attention? No. Why? Because guys come to her, okay? And this simply happens as a female just by being really attractive, right? The girl really doesn't need to do a lot other than just be attractive and guys will flock to her. That's just the way it works. I don't know if you know this, but the same thing's actually true for men, but it works a little bit differently. For example, men, the way that we draw women in is by a couple different things. Your looks do matter for sure. Your build of your physique matters for sure. This is why I'm so big on building your physique. For one of 100 reasons you should build your physique and build your body. But women are also drawn to men based on your masculine drive, right? Your drive in life, your purpose, your ambition. That is a highly attractive trait to women. Additionally, you know, your competency, your charm, your charisma, these things all matter a lot. And it's how you can attract women into your life. Now, when I was younger and I didn't have as much going for me, I was in this constant perpetual state of chasing after girls. Whether that be, like I said, on dating apps, swiping constantly, or, you know, DMing girls on Instagram, on, you know, just all these different things. And what made me think of this was I actually was messaging this girl who has a very large following on Instagram about something the other day. And I scrolled up in the messages and I could see that like 5 years ago, I was really trying to get her attention and message her. I was just like sending like, you know, I was responding like to not every story, but I probably responded to 4 or 5 of them with no reply from her. Then eventually this girl actually started messaging me because she had followed me. Me 5 years ago when I was doing that, I didn't have a lot of things going for me as much. My physique was not as good. My confidence was not as good. I didn't have as much money. I didn't have as much direction and purpose in my life. I was still figuring all that stuff out. So I was in this very, you know, needy state that I was giving off to women. And then when these girls would come into my life, or I would attract some girls because, you know, I've always been taller and, you know, done well with girls, but getting them actually coming into my life and staying was a different story. And that was mainly because on the back end, I didn't have a lot of these things figured out. And the reason I'm sharing this right now is because I stopped pursuing girls maybe like 6 months to a year ago. Like 100% stopped doing it. Every once in a while, I will send a DM or something like that, like respond to a story, but very infrequently. And something very interesting has happened to me in that time. I have never had as many girl options as I did when I was trying to get girls. You understand what I'm saying? So think about it like this. I was spending so much of my time swiping on apps, sending DMs, texting girls, Snapchatting girls, all this different stuff. So in your mind, you would think logically, well, if you're putting all that work in, you should have more options, but completely was untrue. Once I stopped and I said, you know what? I don't really care about this anymore. You know what ended up happening? I put all of that focus and attention that I was allocating towards the pursuing of those girls now got directed into my business, into building my personal brand, into building my physique, into building myself mentally, emotionally, you know, making better calls with my money, with investments, and all kinds of things like that. I started to lock in and focus 120% on myself. 100%. My life, the most important thing. And this is what happens when you do that. You start to carry yourself differently. So you go into these same environments that you've been in, whether it be the gym, where you work, maybe you're in college or your high school, wherever it is. And guess what happens? People, not just girls, people can sense that. Like, oh, this dude's on a mission. And what is most attractive, what did I say at the beginning here, is most attractive to women? It's your masculine drive. It's what I just said. A man that focuses on himself and builds his career, his physique, his finances, his emotional well-being, his mental well-being, that is a safe bet for females. Females are driven by the desire to be safe. Why do women like taller, more jacked guys? Well, because it's wired into their evolutionary being that, if some nearby village raided our village, I want to be with the dude who can withstand himself, that can handle himself and fight and defend me. That's what the female's thinking, right? This is wired into them. The same way that we're wired to seek beautiful, tight-waisted girls, because realistically, that's what's baked into our minds, because that's a very good chance that she will be fertile and be able to produce offspring. These things are layered into us very deeply, okay? You cannot fight your biology. Good luck if you want to try to do that. I've tried doing it. It doesn't work too well. So girls also go through this stuff in their own way. It's just about understanding how they're wired. So when you put too much focus and effort into pursuing girls, you're in this state of need. You're giving off this energy of, I need this girl. Whether that be just, a quick hookup, or you have this need for intimacy and relationship. This signals out that you don't have something, that you don't have the peace inside of yourself, that you're not together the way that you need to be, that you should be, that's highly desirable to women. You'll find that when you do what I'm talking about, it's not going to happen overnight. These things don't happen overnight. It's going to take years of doing this. Building yourself, building, your physique, building your mind, building your money, your competency, your intellect, all these different things. This is a lifelong journey. This is not something that you do and you do it for 6 months and then it's done and over with. It's not a 6-month transformation. But what'll happen is when you are transforming yourself, when you are leveling your life up, what happens? Slowly and surely, the amount and the quality of the girls you're attracting in your life become abundant, right? It becomes so obvious. And then one day, far down the line, you are in this position that every man wants to be, where you have so many different girls that want your attention, that want your time, that they will bend over backwards to try to get it because they want your attention. They want your presence. They don't want any guy's presence. They want yours, because you are the man that is the centrifuge of that masculine drive that they crave deep inside of them. Think about it like this. What woman do you know that looks at The Rock, for example, and doesn't want to be in his presence? Right? Think about it. They don't know him. They've never met him, but physically, and paired with his charisma, his charm, his drive, he's a hard-ass worker. Women love that. The Rock's a perfect embodiment of that. And there's tons of men like this, but I'm just using that example, okay? There's tons of men like this. You want to be your own embodiment of that. You don't need to be The Rock. You don't need to be a bodybuilder. You don't need to be, a business owner. You don't have to be any of this stuff. You can be an accountant. You can work on cars. You can do anything. You could be a landscaper. The point is that you invest in yourself. A man that invests in himself is a safe bet for a woman, because she knows, if I have kids with this man, if I get in a relationship with this man, he will protect me. He will guard me. He will defend me. He will stand up to other people for me. Like, that's what women are thinking about when they want to be with you. Yes, they're drawn in by that and the charisma, and you can make them laugh and all these different things. But really, when it gets down to the core of it, what matters most is you have your shit together, okay? And when you're in this state of constantly reaching for girls, you don't usually have your shit together, because you're just allocating so much time to that. I'm telling you, I spent so much of my 20s doing this. I'm 30 years old now. The last year of my 20s and 30 now, I've completely changed this. And I'm telling you guys, it has been amazing the results I've had with it. Whereas I used to have a problem of like, I just want to find one girl. I just want one girl to, I want one girl to like me, or I want to be with one girl or whatever. Now it's like I walk into a gym or I go anywhere and girls just flock. You'll notice like girls just flock around you. They're training in front of you. You move to another part of the gym, they follow you over there. And it's not just one or two girls. This happens a lot. And it's not just because of how I look, guys. Like, yes, I'm a competitive bodybuilder, very good physique. It's because of the way I carry myself. When I'm in there, I'm working my ass off. They see that, and they see me come in there every single day, and I do that. Not every day. I don't train every day, but you get my point. 5 days, 6 days a week. And they see the progression, right? A lot of these girls follow me on social media, so they see, okay, this dude's like actually moving ahead in life. Like his physique's progressing, his status is progressing, and that is attractive, okay? So the biggest thing you have to do is stop pursuing girls and pursue your passions, pursue your purpose. Replace that, and I'm telling you, the less you focus on the female aspect, the better success you're gonna have with drawing them into your life. Because you'll be like that girl, that really attractive girl we were talking about earlier, that just pulls guys in. You're gonna be your own version of that. But the difference between men and women, and this is a whole different video I could make, is that women are born and men are made. Meaning that girl, she was born beautiful. She was born gorgeous. Everything, it's almost unfair, right? For like girls competing, girls are really competitive. And that girl is just born that way, right? She was just born that way. She didn't earn that. She's won the genetic lottery in a lot of ways. And sure, she might take care of herself to a certain extent, but she won the genetic lottery. You, on the other hand, me, on the other hand, as a man, you have to build yourself. And building yourself as a man is hard work. It's hard work. But the rewards, in terms of every aspect of life, are so worth it. They're so worth it. So stop pursuing girls. Give up the dating apps. Give up DMing and all this different stuff. Stop doing it. I'm telling you right now, it makes no sense logically. But if you step back and listen to what I'm telling you, it'll change your life. Because not only are you going to get more girl options in the long run doing this, you know what you're also going to do? You're going to actually change your life, okay? We all know those guys that are always complaining about their lives. They don't have money. They don't have all this stuff, but they're chasing after girls all the time. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Change your life, improve your life, level your life up. The rest of everything will take care of itself with females. So I hope you guys understand this concept. I hope you bake it into your head. This is one of the most important videos I've ever made. So make sure you like this video, make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day or night, depending on whenever you're watching this.